In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom blank comic book in Canva. For this tutorial, you do not need a premium membership of Canva. However, I do highly recommend, as you can actually use more of the tools that are available. So let me go through this comic book. I created a front cover, and as you can see down here, I created more blank boxes and another blank box which is similar to the one at top but made different. And here, as you can see, this is unique to the comic book that I've created, that you can actually create a unique, interesting one. For example, this circle could just be a zoom in effect or whatever you want to create. And let me scroll down to show you the other one. So here is the ones I was talking about, where it's custom and where you would actually need a premium membership. So these bubbles here are free, but these ones here are from the premium. And what you can do with the premium one, you can flip it and make slight modifications. So even if you don't have the premium membership of Canva, that's perfectly fine. You can either create these bubbles in a free graphics program like Microsoft Paint, or you can actually purchase Create Fabrica and download some there. But I just want to show you the tutorial how to use the tools available in Canva. So let's say you wanted to upload these type of graphics, speech bubble graphics. You can go here to upload them. First, let's get started. Let's go to the home screen. To start, go to Creative Design, then type in A4, then we select Portrait A4. Here we go to Elements, we type in Shapes, and for this one we're gonna first start with creating the comic itself rather than the front cover. So we want to start with a square shape, so we come here to where it says shapes and we click, hold, drag the square into the page. Now we want to resize. So to resize, we can hover over these handles, whether it's a circle one at the end or the rectangle ones at the edge, and we just click, hold, and drag it across. So we don't want it all the way across, just halfway across. Next, we can click away from the page, then right click, hover over the image, right click, and click duplicate. We can also hold down Control D to duplicate. Next, we just hold, drag, and move it to the right of the page. And again, we hover over the rectangle and we just hold, drag, and we just drag it into place. So I want this a bit more higher so it can fit within the margin of the box, invisible box. And I'm also going to do it to this one as well. If we want to, we can drag this, hover over and drag it a bit more in, and hover and drag the second one to make it a bit more of a square box. So next we want to get the center one. So to do the same, you go to shapes and we just drag it in, hold and drag it in and release, and we just drag the handles so it can fit. Again, I want to make sure that it fits within the invisible box. So I'm going to group this together by hovering over and just by holding down left mouse and dragging across to highlight it, and then selecting group. Next, I want to get this down here. So to do that, we right click, click duplicate, and we just drag down. If we want to, for example, put this over here, click ungroup, and just click the individual object and just move it over to the left and the other one to the right. There's still a lot of gap space, so what we could do is highlight all of them and just drag it down to the center. Another thing we can do is just stretch the boxes. So we can click the box, one of the boxes, and we can highlight both boxes, click group, and we can just drag down. And do the same with the others. But for this tutorial, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just gonna go up and click undo. So we want to change the colors of this, so it's a lot easier just to highlight all, come up here to where it says color, click the color and select white. Now as you can see, the page just looks blank. So to get the boxes, we highlight all of them again, we come here to where it says border styles, and we go here where it says border weight, and we just drag. I usually prefer to leave mine on number 5, but you can drag it to whatever size you want. So this is our finished comic book. So we can also put more different types of shapes, as you saw in the previous comic book that I've done. We click add page, and I'm going to show you to do the other ones. So we can use other shapes. So let's click see all, and you can see that we have all different types of shapes. So for the first top, I'm just going to choose this square. I'm going to drag it across. I'm also going to choose another square and drag it across. Next, we can choose the circle. Place the circle in the center. Undo that one. We click drag the circle in the center, and we can either make it larger so it covers half the page over here, or we can make it smaller. I'm just going to leave it smaller, leave it like that, and we can come over here and grab one of these other shapes like this parallelogram over here, and we can just stretch it. So I'm just going to resize it, and I'm going to grab another one and resize it. I'm going to grab this triangle here and place it here. We can resize it so it can fit. Again, we could grab another triangle and we can fit. So now we have the shapes. We can just highlight all of them at once if we want to, and we can click the color up here and we can just click white. Again, when we see the page, everything should be invisible to us. So we click and drag to highlight again. We come up here to border styles, and we just move this handle to change the shapes. So now you got a better look. You can easily manipulate this image, these shapes, to any type of size or design you want to fit your comic book. So this is your unique comic book page. The next one I'm going to show you is to create a comic book with speech bubbles. So in this case, I'm just going to duplicate this old one I have here that we previously created, and I'm also going to move it down to be the third page. So let's say we wanted to do speech bubbles. We can use this one here, which is free, and we can place it here, and again we can just create white background and move the border to number 5 or number 3, wherever you want to choose. And we can also go to here to elements and type in speech bubbles. So here's what I was talking about, that you might need the pro account. So you can add this speech bubble here. You can also give it a border style, but the problem is with this one is the border style is square. It's not transparent like the shapes one. But that's okay, because we can change the background by clicking color, and we can choose any one of these ones. And again, you can resize it to whoever you want. This is why I say you can upload your own designs, but there's also other premium ones you can choose to add to your design, your comic book design. And choose to see this one. You can see this one already has a border around it. Again, it's not completely customizable, as you can see, it's not completely customizable, as it still gives you a square border rather than actually change the shape of the actual speech bubble, but that's fine. Actually, let me move on to create the front cover. I usually prefer to leave the front cover till last, so we can go back to shapes and just click shape, type in shapes in elements. Here we could just come here and create our own unique cover here. Again, we could just make the background white, and we could just make the border wherever we want. We could choose 5 or 6, and we can type it here if we want to. I'm going to just leave it as 5. You can also slightly round the corners. And here you can just type in whatever you want to put. For example, go to text, here, click text, and we click drag the header. You can move the text by clicking this handle here, and you can resize it by clicking at the edge of these handles here. So for this one, I'm just going to call it comic book. Here you can put some designs in the background if you want to. You can, let's say you're selling this as a product, you could just say put buy, leave that like how it is, shrink it a bit smaller, come here to elements, type in line, and we can take this shape and just place it under here like this, and then drag. If we want to, we can click here where it says line, and we can select any one of these line designs. I'm going to choose this one. So now we have a complete blank comic book. So let's move this up to the top. And this can be your opening comic book. And if you choose, you can just duplicate any of the pages to create your own design. And then we can just go to share, download, and we can use any one of these to download. If you want to, you can create it, download it in PDF, and from then you've completed your first blank comic book product. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.